Alright, hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast and Game 3 in a best of 3 series between mousesports' Hasu and Team Liquid's TLO. I'm looking forward to this matchup and to this game. Game 3 in a best of 3 series, one of my favorite sayings in the StarCraft 2 universe, just because you've already casted 2 great games, hopefully. And now you get to see it all boiled down to the line on one game. So Hasu and TLO here in the Xel'Naga Caverns. Xel'Naga Caverns, one of those maps that have been in the map pool for quite a while now. So both of these players more than familiar with this map and this matchup. I'm sure they've played countless numbers of games on this map, or at least watched countless numbers of replays, and have very specific ideas and strategies going into this matchup. We have TLO spawning as the red Terran player on the south side of the map, and we have mouzHasu spawning on the north side of the map as the yellow Protoss, keeping the same colors as the last game. We are going to be getting a barracks into play. We should be getting the gateway next, and now probably going to start scouting out with that one probe, making sure that there is no proxy raxes down in this location for what would be a crazy marine rush. I wouldn't put it past TLO. Any other player, if any other player did it, I would say, oh, that's cheese. But the way TLO plays and the way TLO executes anything, I would say it was pure brilliance. But yeah, I guess too much love for TLO now that TLO is back playing Terran. Also, if you guys haven't seen the Team Liquid article saying that Blizzard is gonna make a new race just for TLO, so that he can experiment with all 3 races and the best units of all 3 races and see if he can win with them and get success. And really funny article. Gotta go check that out. A Marine will be popping out of that barracks in just a moment. The probe not going to be able to get too much sight just because it had to check and sweep along to see if there was no proxy barracks here or here, which would lead to very early aggression. That Zealot does take a decent amount of time to warp in. 38 seconds, 28 if you chrono boost it once. And I think it's 19 if you try to chrono boost it. Actually, I don't know. Can you actually chrono boost it twice? I don't think you can actually completely chrono boost it twice. So yeah, you can't chrono boost it twice. A Reaper now being trained. So TLO looking like he's going to go for a Reaper fast expand. As that SCV now runs all the way home. TLO should be saving up for a command center in just a moment. And we will be getting the command center. Is he going to build it straight? No, not going to build it on the low ground. Building it on the high ground here. And it is going to be spottable by Hasu if Hasu tries to run out or run up that ramp with a probe or any stalkers or zealots. We can see that a probe now retreating. There is already a pylon in play here, which is a little bit out of the way. As the Marine now going to activate a Xel'Naga Watchtower, the Reaper may not be able to spot that pylon, and that is going to change things up a little bit as the SCV now running away from that probe. The Marine going to activate this Xel'Naga Watchtower. And now that Reaper perhaps looking to deal some extra damage. There is a Marine over here now shooting at that one probe. The Reaper doesn't want to reveal itself to the probe. Otherwise, the Stalker would probably just head back over here, as we are now getting the Stalker to join in with the rest of this fight. This is a very early, very aggressive 2-gate push. You can see that the warp gate is now nearing completion, and as soon as these 2 additional units are out, we should most likely see units warping in along here, and that's going to be very dangerous. But TLO already going to deal the first blow with a Reaper. That Reaper going after a probe, getting 1 probe kill, and now desperately trying to run for its life. A second Stalker going to intercept it, and oh, nowhere to go, and down goes that Reaper. The gateway should be upgrading to warp gates in just a moment, as those units are now going to make their way to the south side. And now with this command center up, he is going to be able to train up a lot of SCVs, but this is going to be very difficult if Hasu gets off that early aggression, which I think he will be able to. TLO is going to have to work very hard to get back into this game. There is a tech lab, no, a reactor now being built, so that's going to be quite some time before anything else is coming out of there. And now in comes that Guardian Shield, and the Marauders desperately need to run. The Stalker's already charging up that ramp, trying to take down the stim pack research, and that is so close to being completed. And oh, SCV's coming off to repair. So the SCVs repairing the stim pack research as the Marauders are trying to fight back. There is no pylon down here. Everything will have to be warped in from a very, very far side as those SCVs just continue to wander around. One SCV was stuck there. But the unit count, 24 SCVs now compared to 30. The only saving grace is TLO does have a second mule in play. And with 2 mules, he is going to have a stronger economy, at least at this stage in the game, especially as he does not mine gas from one of his refineries. Production-wise, you can see the Nexus, the expansion already being warped in at the 12 o'clock position. Stalkers and Sentry down here, more Sentries joining in on the fight. Additional gateways need to be warped in to continue this aggression. And now one Stalker just simply up on that high ground. More Marines will be trained. Stalker's now trying to focus down that tech lab. The Marauder's going to quickly come in, and oh, a force field stopping many of those units, and I believe the Stalkers are going to be able to just focus down that tech lab. The tech lab will get destroyed as the SCVs are not able to repair it. And now another Marauder needs to come back over, so the combat shield will get delayed. Marauders and Marines now giving chase. The stim pack has been researched. No concussive shells though, and wow. And now back over here, the Zealots and the Sentries trying to re-engage. There are a decent number of Marines and Marauders army-wise, 800 versus 575. But if you add the total resources, it's about 900 to 1200 now. So things are starting to look good for Hasu. If Hasu is able to engage, he doesn't have that many research on his units. Oh, the force fields, however, splitting across that army once again, and a Marauder even stuck between 3 force fields. Talk about being stuck between a hard place and an invulnerable place. Anyways, Marauders and Sentries once again giving chase. The Stalkers should be able to start picking off those... the Stalkers should be able to pick off those Marauders, but the Marauders realizing that, deciding to use those stim packs, moving 50% faster and running all the way home. And now trying to see if they can survive this aggression. The Stalkers are now continuing to push left and right. There are more units now coming in. Oh, a poor Sentry will get picked down over there. So the Marauders with that stutter step trying to get even more damage in. A lot of low hit point units. And Hasu now in retreat. Hasu, I believe, yes, he has lost more resources. And he is also now almost caught up in economy. So TLO almost caught up in economy now. TLO did rebound very nicely from that early play by Hasu. How is this going to work out now? More gateways still coming in. So Hasu now running off of the 7 gateways with a forge now being upgraded. Or is that 7 or 8? Did I include that one? No, just 7 gateways. It is going to be a lot of warp gates, a lot of production, easy to dump a lot of minerals. As soon as Hasu gets some additional pylons warped in, he does need to take down another set of destructible rocks and try to establish a base here. Otherwise, he will not be able to support any additional production buildings. He is currently warping in a robotics facility and also getting that level 1 armor upgrade. So, by that armor upgrade, it's indicating to me that he wants to continue to use that Guardian Shield effect as he walked up this ramp and saw a lot of barracks. When you see this many Raxes coming in from your opponent, you know that he's going to be going for heavy infantry, and with this, using that Guardian Shield really reduces the amount of damage that infantry can do. We already have the level 1 weapons upgrade coming in from TLO though, and now we are also getting the starport and other important buildings, other key tech buildings from TLO. That command center are going to perhaps land at the high yield mineral location and try to reestablish that expansion. A pylon quickly getting saved by Hasu as Zealots and Sentries coming over there to reinforce. There is going to be a Blink now being researched as well, an Observer being added to that army, and Zealots being added as well. He will be able to get to level 2 armor upgrades, and if he gets even to the full level 3 armor upgrades before TLO gets his infantry upgrades, those Guardian Shields are gonna really reduce the amount of damage that those Marines are capable of dealing. Stalkers Stalker's blink research about halfway completed. Armor research more than about to be completed as an observer now makes its way across the map. There are going to be 2 observers now, and that observer will spot out this command center, I believe. I think it's just within sight. There it is. Now upgrading to an orbital command, so not a planetary fortress. And a Marine going to quickly get shot down over here. The SCVs need to get the memo to leave. One SCV has been taken down. Marauders are now simply running over as quickly as possible, but the observer was able to spot it, and those stalkers are now desperately trying to run away. Another round of stim pack may be coming in. The stalkers may just simply blink up onto that high ground if they do have to engage and have to battle. There are 2 medevacs now offering some healing support as the Zealots are now reinforcing. The Zealot charge, or Zealot's charge upgrade, will come online in about a minute or so, and especially if he is using that chrono boost on that Twilight Council. Is it? No chrono boost on the Twilight Council just quite yet. The Nexus is still about 2/3 of the way completed. It's going to be a little bit more time before that expansion is set up, and just mass infantry coming in from TLO. At some point, I expect to see Colossus or Psystorm coming in, and now it is going to be Colossus. So Colossus with the extended thermal lance range used in order to counter those Marauders and those Marines. Psystorm much more difficult to use now without that amulet research. Zealots now making their way over, and Stalkers coming in as well. Stalkers getting some easy damage across some of those Marines, but a Marauder with a concussive shell almost able to get through the hardened shields of that Stalker. And you can see now the level 2 ground armor upgrades. So level 2 ground armor upgrades over the level, on top of the level 1 plus Guardian shields. He needs to get ahead of the Terran infantry upgrades, otherwise he's just keeping pace. He really wants to get 1 to 2 upgrades ahead if possible, in order to make sure that those Marines are not dealing that much damage. We also see a Stalker and a Zealot down over here on that low ground expansion, as TLO continuing to produce even more production buildings, running off of 6 Raxes, 1 factory, and 1 starport. Still no siege tech just quite yet, just Hellions. And I believe TLO will be going Hellion raiding in just a moment. Hellion raiding, a very effective tactic against Protoss players. Protoss players many of the times do not get photon cannons, and or they don't get photon cannons close enough to their mineral line. So the probes are going to be very vulnerable if a Hellion comes in along this backside and then just starts able to double swiping with that flame research and taking down those units. You can see 2 Hellions now coming in, perhaps hearing exactly what I have to say. Stalkers, blinking up onto the high ground, and already getting its money's worth out of that level of research there. Extended thermal lance range now coming in as well, in addition to that ground armor upgrades not being chrono boosted. Where is the robotics bay? Down over here, and now getting double Colossus. So 2 Colossi will be coming out, and now 2 additional Colossi being trained as well. Hasu somehow able to keep up with this crazy amount of macro by dumping his minerals straight into Zealots. Both players are sitting at a very large 200 army count. You can see that the army supply 126 versus 126, worker supply 74 to 74. So this is as even as you're going to get as the units now try to come in and try to engage. This one Nexus going to take a lot of damage. The Colossus and Guardian Shield already in play. Ghost coming in with EMP Shockwave. Are they going to get a round of EMP Shockwave off? That is going to be a key question. EMP Shockwave across multiple sentries, but it only deals 100 damage. 100 damage to the shields, and only reduces by 100 energy now, so it doesn't deplete all energy. But you can see how much energy and shields were lost, and those ghosts are going to continue to just push and battle it out. Level 1 weapons upgrade, so it looks like those infantry are going to be able to use that upgrade ability and continue to get a lot of damage. Zealots now coming down over here. They do have the charge upgrade, no force fields to block the retreat, as the Marauders and Marines once again coming in to re-engage. Stalkers now coming in. The Colossus and army upgrades. Colossus and now Stalkers trying to engage over here. Are they going to get some damage across those medevacs? No, the Stalkers perhaps could have focused down 1 or 2 of them, as 2 Hellions quickly going to get taken down. So this large ball of Protoss units now on the move, going to just continue to swipe at these units and these buildings now. Ghost getting an EMP Shockwave off, but only depleting a minimal amount of shields, not getting that much damage. And you can see that those Colossus with that very, very long range of attack really benefiting. Double Vikings need to be trained out, but a nuke now being used as a deterrent. and from Hasu pushing in, and that nuke just sitting there. Hasu knows that he cannot initiate a battle there, and that nuke was just for show and nothing else. The Stalkers and Zealots are down in this position. SCVs are trying to become transferred as well. This command center going to take a little bit of damage, but not so much that it is on fire. Once again, engaging over here. What? More buildings are being lost. Vikings are now trying to engage, and now it's going to be an aggression over here. The Marauders and the Marines coming up onto this high ground, going to snipe down this Nexus. There are a lot of gateways still being warped in, so we have 16 gateways, 16 production buildings and 2 robotics facilities coming in. Zealots and Stalkers now coming in once again. Those medevacs are going to get shot down very, very easily, and now TLO once again in trouble. But these SCVs, where are they going? I'm not sure. SCVs perhaps trying to sacrifice themselves in order to free up some food, but he already has plenty of food. Not sure where those SCVs are going, and TLO going to have a very bad day. What are those SCVs doing besides scouting? Running straight into photon cannons and taking a lot of damage. I am so completely baffled at this stage in the game. SCVs now joining in on the attack, trying to shut down some of those pylons. Zealots are going to be able to focus down. Oh, we are going to get a surround on those Zealots, so the Zealots do have that natural shield. So these SCVs are only dealing 2 damage per attack. Another nuke now incoming. Vikings are now in the center of the map as well. The nuke is going to get canceled, as those Stalkers and Sentries and Colossi are now pulling back, and another nuke being called down. So continuous nukes deterring any serious aggression, as those SCVs have now fallen, and that has opened up a little bit of breathing room for TLO. Taking a look at the army and worker supplies, 76 compared to 57, 121 versus 120. So the armies are about the same in size so far, as the Colossi are now re-engaging over here. It looks like the Stalkers are looking to push in and get even more damage. The Vikings trying to get a round of attack onto the Colossi. Stalkers able to blink in and zero in on that distance, as we are now getting into the level 3 armor upgrades. That is very, very heavy armor upgrades indeed, especially as the Marines are now 3-2. Double nukes now being called in once again. Marauders inside that bunker with a range of 7, but it doesn't matter. This attack ball is just continuing to move out. Stalkers blinking once again over to try to protect those Vikings, and Hasu still doing a great job just leaving the pressure on, but still more nukes being called down. We are getting Stalkers now warping in onto the high ground here, and this expansion from TLO may fall, and it's going to easily fall. Down it goes, and now TLO is only mining off of these mineral patches here. This is going to be a definite problem, as Hasu still has this mineral patch and trace amounts of mineral patches over here. Cannons now trying to deter any attacking over here, but I believe the Stalkers and this just Zealot gateway ball with Colossus support is going to be too much to handle. Dark Templar is now coming in. In comes a scanner sweep to try to reveal that one Dark Templar, but enough damage has been dealt. A new Nexus should be warped in here, but there is still plenty of mining going on over here. So Orbital Command now making its way in. This is not coming in from the main base. There was only 3 mineral patches left, so TLO really can't expect to get that much mileage out of this one high yield mineral location, as it has already been depleted with strip mule mining. The Stalkers now quickly coming in, and minerals or Marines and Marauders continue to just try to leave. The Stalkers are going to be able to retreat. 3 of them are going to get taken down as the Colossus continue to battle it out. Vikings in the air, Colossus coming in, and it takes 20 seconds for a nuke to fall down, so I'm not 100% sure why Hasu decided to pull back right at that instant, but the nuke is going to be coming down. No, not going to get called down. Both sides continue to battle it out, and Hasu's army is getting destroyed. Hasu's army now slowly just getting destroyed one at a time. Production-wise, more units are being trained up, and that's going to have to be critical, as the army is now 3,000 versus 4,500. Much larger gas army coming in from TLO, as the Marauders looking to perhaps try to take down this expansion location here. There are photon cannons to try to protect this location, and now one Dark Templar will make its way over, perhaps get some damage onto some of those Dark Templars. There are no Ravens nearby, no scanner sweep yet revealing it, and now the probes are desperately trying to run away. Another Dark Templar coming in to engage, as the Stalkers and Zealots are trying to reinforce. Standing army, TLO, I may have to take my words back, as by freeing up his worker supply, that may have won him the game. TLO continuing to push with these siege tanks and these ghosts, and now simply destroying the Nexus over here, and now both economies are pretty much crippled at this stage. Probe now continuing to just try to join in on this fight. No, Probe just going back into mining as the Stalkers and the Vikings are engaging. The medevacs are out of energy. That is the problem. The Marauders are unable to continue to really deal that much more damage. Marauders, and now Archon is joining in, so the Archons using their additional bonus damage against biological, and really able to just even it out there. And now a large portion of the army is now medevacs, so those medevacs are just going to get simply shot down. And Hasu now looking like he's going to try to get back into this game with this really small army, but SCVs now coming in once again. There are 2 medevacs very low on hit points. The Zealots, and it's an all-out battle at the 3 o'clock expansion location. Stalkers now blinking away, getting some distance. A very nice force fields preventing those SCVs from reaching their target nearly as easily. Probes coming off the mineral line once more, and this is an all-out battle. The Stalkers blinking straight behind, and TLO says GG. A very, very valiant effort by TLO in order to get back into this game, but still just not enough. I thought for a second that TLO may have had just enough of an army advantage, but I believe because Hasu has 14 gateways, is it 14 or no, 15 gateways, he was able to replenish his army very, very quickly, especially off of the rest of the mineral patches here, and that was just enough to edge him out. If those medevacs had more energy, if the medevacs had more energy, those Marauders would have been at full health, and that would have been a completely different story. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. An exciting, exciting Game 3 in this best of 3 series between mouzHasu, or mouzSports' Hasu, and Team Liquid's TLO. GG!